Hi, I'm the R.C. Ramming, 9th degree black belt, adjunct faculty member at the College of the Bahamas. I teach a Judo and Jiu-Jitsu course there, and the students have gone on to create a reality TV show as a class project. I hope you enjoy it. So welcome to the Mueller's Pasta Judo Jiu-Jitsu Wrestling League. We start each class with a bow, which is a symbol of respect for one another. Now introducing the Linguini Spartans. First up, Jordan Neely. Jordan is a highly energetic and unorthodox fighter. Here you see him avoiding pin after pin, using a very unusual style. Jordan's style matches his personality. We can always count on him to bring a high level of energy and enthusiasm to the fight. Next up, Alexandria Russell. Alexandria has a patient game. Here we see her trapped in the guard and slowly try to make her way out by passing the guard. Working really hard. Her opponent tries to bump her, but Alexandria reverses it with a trap and roll. Two, one, two, one. In the Mueller's Pasta Judo Jiu-Jitsu League, there are 2 rounds. Each round, one person starts with a hook in, that means the leg is wrapped over, and one hand in, and then the fight begins. This is a novice league. Now here we see great patience being exhibited by Alexandria as she blocks the attempt at an armbar. She reverses, and she is caught in the guard. Next up, Sean Lowe. Sean trained very hard for these fights. Sean has a little bit more experience than the others in the martial arts, in the grappling martial arts. So he fought up a bit. His opponent is heavier, but he presents no problem for Sean. Sean avoids the attack by going into the turtle position. He then reverses and grabs with both legs around in the closed guard.
What's your name?
My name is Sean Lowe.
What is your alias fight name?
My alias fight name is the Locksmith because I like to use a lot of arm bars and arm locks.
Okay, what is your strategy for winning?
Well, my strategy for winning is basically to prepare myself both physically and mentally before my match.
Here we see Sean caught in the guard. This closed guard position is a position that you will see often in Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. You need to be able to come out of the guard in order to effectively put on an arm bar or an arm lock. Sean is aware of this, so he tries to control the hands of his opponent so it will give him the ability to shift. Sean pins his opponent. Very strong pin. This pin is called a Shiho pin. 10 seconds and he scored them points. So here is how a typical fight progresses. One opponent starts from behind, And now, Sean's opponent is trying to effect a choke on him. He's trying to get his hands around his neck, or now to turn him for a pin. Sean is aware that he's going to try and turn him. So what he does is he tries to use his arm to stop the post out. Now, Sean's opponent is quite clever, so he hooks Sean's arm with his feet, which is his mistake. Sean turns, and his opponent, being quite skilled, grabs Sean in the guard. As the fight progresses, Sean must work his way out of the guard. He attempts a guard pass, and he is somewhat successful at it, but he's still caught. Jiu-Jitsu is a game of patience, and more patience. You try to move from one position to another so that you may submit your opponent. What this means is that sometimes the action moves very slowly. Sean is finally successful in turning his opponent for a pin, where he holds him for 10 seconds. Introducing Edika Dean. Here we see Edika executing a successful chokehold against her opponent. Choking is not dangerous because we use carotid chokes, that is, against the carotid artery. The opponent is allowed to tap out before they pass out.
What is your name?
Edika Dean.
What is your alias fight name?
Judo Princess.
What is your strategy for winning?
Well, I'm just going to focus on being prepared and knowing my techniques.
The choking technique of Judo and Jiu-Jitsu involves using the clothing for strangling. Chokes can also be done without the clothing. The carotid artery is restricted and the opponent taps or passes out in 8 to 12 seconds. In the preliminary fights, Edika uses the choke very successfully against her opponent on more than one occasion. She gets her hooks in and she continues to fight for control of the neck. To block this effort, the opponent pulls down on Edika's arm. As the opponent turns to try and block the choke is still possible. It can be executed from behind, from the front, or in the rear mount position. Here is Edika avoiding a choke from her opponent. Introducing Delano Francique. Delano is seen here in the rear mount position. He escapes and it's reset. His opponent has one hand in and one hook in. That's how he started. Now he begins. Delano immediately rolls to his side and begins to work on the hooks. Takes the pressure off his neck by pulling down on his opponent's hand and moves to the turtle position.